western frontier, wandered the fine line between the law and an outlaw. Some jump from one side to the other, at one time being a lawman and at other times being an outlaw. One such individual was Frank Canton. Frank Canton, born Joshua Horner on September 15, 1849, in Harrison, Indiana, or it may have been in Virginia. The record is uncertain. He had a varied career, being a cattle rustler, bank robber, sheriff, U.S. Deputy Marshal, and Oklahoma Adjutant General. Whether Indiana or Virginia was his state of birth, the family moved to Texas when he was a small child. As a teenager, Horner became a cowboy, trailing cattle to Kansas. From 1871 to 1878, Horner engaged in a variety of illegal activities. Jailed in 1877 for robbing a Comanche, Texas bank, he soon escaped and helped drive a cattle herd to Nebraska. Deciding to join the side of law and order, Horner changed his name to Frank M. Canton and accepted a position as a range detective with the powerful Wyoming Stock Growers Association, the WSGA. As a range detective, he was responsible for preventing the rustling of cattle from the big Wyoming ranches. While working for the WSGA, he was thought to be responsible for the death of several individuals who were considered a threat to the Wyoming cattlemen. In 1882, he was elected sheriff of Johnson County, Wyoming, serving for 4 years before again accepting employment with the WSGA. Canton was a significant participant in what was to become known as the Johnson County War of 1892. This was a conflict resulting when large cattle companies started persecuting alleged rustlers in the county. These rustlers were homesteaders and small cattle ranchers who competed with the cattle barons for the land and water rights. The WSGA recruited an army of about 56 men, made up of SGA members and 23 Texas gunmen. Canton was in charge of these men and pressed the group to take a more aggressive approach in their enterprise. Following the siege at the TA Ranch, Canton, along with the rest of the invaders, was taken by the army and sent to Cheyenne for trial. A trial was never held, and Canton was eventually released. Realizing that Wyoming was no longer a safe place for him, he left the state for good and went to Oklahoma Territory. Here he served as undersheriff in Pawnee County and deputy U.S. Marshal for the famous Judge Isaac Parker. In this role, he was responsible for ending the careers of several Oklahoma outlaw gangs. In 1894, Canton talked Texas Governor Jim Hogg into granting him a pardon for his criminal conduct in Texas. In 1897, he joined the gold rush to Alaska. In Alaska, he took a job as a deputy U.S. Marshal rather than prospect for gold. 2 years later, he returned to his family in Oklahoma. In 1907, after working in various law enforcement positions, he was appointed Adjutant General of the Oklahoma National Guard. Over the next decade, General Canton built up the organization. He died on September 27, 1927, at the age of 78. His funeral was a major event in Oklahoma City, and he was buried at the Fair Lawn Cemetery in dress uniform with the Masonic rites and military honors. Canton was described as a tall, fearless, arrogant fellow, a dead shot who had a way of making himself very popular with powerful people and extremely unpopular with the less powerful. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you like what I do, please like the video, subscribe, and comment.